This is your news source evening bulletin for today, Wednesday, the 2nd day of June in the year 2021. I'm Gordon Mosley. Here's what we're tracking tonight. With the National Weather Center warning that there could be more heavy rainfall and thunderstorms in already flooded communities, the Civil Defense Commission is bracing itself for a worsening of the current flood situation in Guyana. Several communities across the country remain under high alert and inundated with floodwaters with no relief in sight. Director General of the Civil Defense Commission, Lieutenant Colonel Kester Craig, today revealed that almost 7,000 homes are already affected by the floods across the country. With some areas facing floodwaters of more than 8 feet in height, the CDC Director General said the current situation is serving as another eye-opener.
We operate based on current issues and current impact. 2005 was the eye-opener. Some measures were taken, but most of them weren't sustained. Likewise, this is another eye-opener, and I hope it's a different type of measures and actions are taken at all levels. The citizens, the local government organization, the regional organization, the private sector, and national government.
Back in 2005, Guyana saw some of the worst floodings ever recorded in the country's history. While there has been flooding since then in many regions, the current state across the country is bringing back fears and reminders of the 2005 floods. The CDC head said today that it is clear that much more needs to be done to prevent a recurring situation.
I think key for us in Guyana is that we are living in a time when the whole world is affected by climate change. And we must start to take adaptation measures because you're seeing not only increase in floods and intensity of rainfall, but you've seen high winds. We've experienced earthquake a few months ago. So our efforts need to be focused on building the country resilience. Our efforts need to be focused on mitigation, risk reduction, so that if you're impacted, to say, the impact is not greater. Internationally, the more you invest in risk reduction and mitigation, is the less you would spend and the less impact you would have as relates to response operation.
Lieutenant Colonel Craig said there must be a national response which will bring together all stakeholders across the country. According to Mr. Craig, there is a need for a hand-in-hand approach.
If we have a resilient society, a society with reduced risk, we'll be able to have we'll be able to ensure sustained economic development. So it goes hand in hand. We can't promote, or we can't want to have become a developed country and we are flooded significantly every couple of months or year. So we have to reduce the risk, and if we reduce the risk, that could also encourage investment.
Emergency disaster operations have been activated in regions across the country, and the CDC has been working with local officials to get help and relief to those affected. Shelters have been established in some communities, and the Caribbean Disaster Emergency Management Agency is now lending its support to Guyana's Civil Defense Commission. More news coming up in just a moment.
Guyana, we've been through it all.
But as a people we have
weathered every storm
and risen to every challenge.
Because it is the people of Guyana
that gives it its strength.
all the people,
regardless of race,
class, or religion.
We are one people, one strength.
And now is our time. A time to rise. Together, we rise.
My name is Kian Jabour, and I'm from a new and united Guyana. And I'm very pleased to say I just got my first dose of the Sputnik COVID-19 vaccine. I feel extremely good. The vaccine was no pain at all, and I have to encourage everyone to please come out and get it. The COVID pandemic is getting much, much worse in Guyana. It's all of our responsibility to keep each other safe.
GWI introduces CAP, their customer assistance promotion that offers massive discounts.
For a limited time, get 50% off all reconnection fees and another 50% off your entire bill. If your service was removed or you've reconnected on your own, GWI is offering yet another 50% discount off all tampering and replacement fees. Wallet-friendly payment plans are also available. So tap into GWI's customer assistance promotion by visiting any GWI office and avoid them taking legal action. CAP only applies to customers whose services were disconnected or removed prior to 2021. For more information, call 227-8701 or WhatsApp 620-1667. Water is life. Save it.
Mobil 1 is more than oil. It's many oils. It transforms at the molecular level. When cold, it's thicker than honey. When hot, it's thinner than water. Mobil 1 adapts and readapts to last longer. 16,000 kilometers between oil changes. That's your engine evolved.
Sol Guyana is the authorized distributor of Mobil lubricants.
At Sash Financial, we create strategies for strengthening business and personal finances while helping our clients to build sustainable wealth. Our financial and business consultancy services are uniquely tailored to ensure every client receives quality packages and optimal results. Our financial services include financial reporting and analysis, financial status assessment, internal audits, bookkeeping and records management, financial planning advice, tax returns. Our business advisory services are related to business plans, business startups, operational improvement, business management, document preparation, procedures development, efficient marketing. Call or WhatsApp us today for your free consultation on telephone number 592-665-6045. Sash Financial, strengthening businesses, building wealth.
We are legions of men standing strong, but never too proud to stoop and help someone. We must send a clear signal to all. Do right, walk in upright ways, knowing that's what being a man is all about. And ever aware that things will only get worse when good men do nothing. Stand strong, be the one to live right.
Mom, what are you doing with GPL on your list?
Child, you forgot I have to pay GPL?
You got time with GPL.
I have to keep these lights on. The customers who think in that manner and refuse to honor their obligation to GPL are obviously not playing their part in ensuring quality service delivery. So, I will continue to pay my GPL bill on time, every time.
I recognize the value of your point, Mom. You were right.
Welcome back. Opposition Member of Parliament and former Minister of Public Infrastructure David Patterson wants the government to stop the blame game about the floods and spend more time setting up a National Flood Emergency Committee, bringing together all stakeholders, including the opposition, to deal with what has become a major national problem. All 10 administrative regions across Guyana have reported flooded communities. At an opposition press conference, Mr. Patterson said the problem will not be fixed unless there is a collective effort to tackle it. The government has sought to blame the City Council and some of the other councils across the country for not adequately having systems in place to guard against flooding. But Patterson is of the view that the government's focus now needs to be on getting all hands on board to address the disaster.
We had a very well working system. That is not something that can be disputed. I mean, that was something I know that the coalition was given the credit for. What is happening now is sad to see we regress to pre-2015 state whereby you sit down and you blame someone else. Georgetown and Guyana is for all of us. Flooding affects every single one. All constituencies, including constituencies won by the APNU-AFC and constituencies won by the PPP. So we call on the government to engage stakeholders. Since August of 2020, there's been absolutely no engagement with the opposition. Absolutely no engagement with the opposition. They not even to ask if we have any ideas, if we have any issues which we can help to put forward to alleviate this problem, which is countrywide.
Mr. Patterson said there is a clear lack of understanding of what needs to be done by the government when a natural disaster strikes.
Unless the administration changes their approach, stop blaming people, stop driving around at night and knocking and saying and walking with the media to see if the pump attendants are awake or not. The pumps can run for as much 24 hours, we still will be flooded because the key interventions, it's not just at the pump and it's lucid. The key interventions were not done this year.
The opposition member of parliament is of the belief that the government appears not to understand the scope of the current problem.
The government, for some strange reason, has been caught with their pants down, sitting on their hands. They've made no mitigation.
Patterson said the nation continues to see a lack of understanding of the magnitude of the situation and that is building distrust by citizens. He added that in the case of Georgetown, the government needs to provide the city council with the needed resources to tackle flooding. In the past 3 weeks, Guyana has seen an increase in rainfall and thunderstorms, resulting in flooding in a number of communities in every region. In some areas like Kwakwani in Region 10, the rivers have overflown their banks and the floodwaters have now reached more than 8 feet in height. The Guyana Water Incorporated is clarifying this evening that it intends to fire 157 workers and not 300 as previously stated. In a clarification statement, the company said a total of 157 staffers are listed to be sent home as part of their restructuring plans and rationalization of the staffing establishment. According to GWI, this is to ensure the efficient and productive management of the daily operations of the company. GWI said of the 157 listed to go home, 76 were issued termination letters on Monday, and they will go off at the end of this month. The remaining staff members are slated to be sent off within a 3-month period. The company said it must be noted that due process was followed prior to any decision making, and all of the 76 employees will receive their severance benefits by the end of June. Chairman of the Police Service Commission, retired Assistant Commissioner Paul Slow, is not budging from his position that President Irfan Ali attempted to influence the work of the Police Service Commission to get specific officers promoted in the police force. In response to the president's denial of attempting to influence the work of the commission and get people promoted, Mr. Slow, through his attorney, said he stands by his statements. During a press conference earlier this week, Mr. Slow alleged that President Irfan Ali contacted him directly, inquiring why his people in the police force were not on the police force's promotion list. The president was referring to Senior Superintendents Fazil Karambaksh and Calvin Brutus. Slow said he explained to the president that he could not promote the 2 senior superintendents to the rank of assistant commissioner because they had pending disciplinary matters before the Police Service Commission. Slow also said the president was not happy with that response and pointed to other officers who were promoted. President Ali and his People's Progressive Party Civic have shut down the statements by Slow. The president, however, did not deny contacting the Police Service Commission chairman. Slow said he's anxiously awaiting the affidavit of the president in response to his. He said he's also looking forward to the process of examination and cross-examination, the presenting of direct and circumstantial evidence, and all the hallmarks of a fair and impartial court or tribunal process for adjudication of the matters as the government tries to remove him. The former assistant commissioner who currently heads the Police Service Commission was recently charged along with other retired and senior police officers for fraud conspiracy. The charges are in relation to payments that they received from the police force for the revision of the police force's standing orders. Slow and the other officers have all denied the charges, and Slow has said the decision to file the charges is clearly a response to his decision not to support the promotion of some senior officers. One day after PPP-nominated commissioners and the Guyana Elections Commission initiated a process to remove Chief Elections Officer Keith Lowenfield, his deputy Roxanne Myers, and Returning Officer for Region 4 Claremont Mingo, the Georgetown Chambers of Commerce and Industry is hailing the move. In a release issued this morning, the Chamber of Commerce said it is pleased that steps are being taken to hold officers accountable at the elections body. Already, the chairman of the Elections Commission, Justice Claudette Singh, has dispatched letters to Lowenfield and Myers informing them of the motion to remove them and requesting that they show cause why they must not be removed from their respective positions. The private sector body said as an accredited observer for the elections, it witnessed GCOM officers attempting to defy the law and lawful instructions. According to the Chamber of Commerce, their open defiance and abdication of their statutory responsibility placed the country in a precarious situation, where attempts at subverting the will of the people could have placed the country in the league of pariah states. The Chamber of Commerce said it wants the electoral reform process to be undertaken soon with the greatest of urgency and with the input of citizens and a wide range of stakeholders. Let's tell you now that the University of Guyana is once again making a plea for the number of Guyanese law graduates getting entry to pursue their legal education certificate at the U Law School in Trinidad to be increased. The university wants the number of those accepted annually to be increased from 25 to 40. In a 2016 agreement between the University of Guyana, the University of the West Indies, and the Council for Legal Education, the top 25 UG Law graduates are allowed automatic entry to the U Law School in Trinidad each academic year. Attorney General Anil Nandlal recently met with the Vice Chancellor of the University of Guyana, Professor Paloma Mohammed, and the team from the Law Department to discuss the terms of a new agreement with officials of the University of the West Indies and the Council of Legal Education of the West Indies for the continued automatic admission of the graduates of the University of Guyana. A release from the Attorney General's chamber said the UG team wants a new and long-term agreement with officials of the University of the West Indies and the Council of Legal Education for the admission of UG graduates, along with the increase in the number of those accepted annually. The University of Guyana also wants the issue of non-Guyanese graduates of the law program getting entry into any of the 3 law schools in the region settled. The university also wants to be included in deliberations of the Council of Legal Education on the issues affecting the University of Guyana. 2 weeks after the traffic chief, Senior Superintendent Ramesh Ashram issued a stern warning to his ranks about randomly stopping and harassing motorists on the roadways for documents and minor offenses, Commander of Region 3, Senior Superintendent Errol Watts, believes motorists could be stopped once they are found to be breaching the law. Appearing on the Police and You program on Tuesday, Commander Watts said that while the force has its standard operating procedures, the law dictates that once an offense is committed, ranks have the right to act, and that right includes stopping the motorists.
What I have learned since my days in the training school, and I have seen this in the laws of Guyana, if someone commits an offense within your view that is punishable upon indictment or upon summary conviction, the police officer under the Police Act Chapter 1601 has a responsibility to exercise his right to bring that person to answer to that charge.
The commander added that he has made it clear to ranks under his command that when they arrest a person for an offense, traffic or otherwise, that they inform the person of the reason behind the arrest so as to ease any possible tension.
Because anything thereafter, having told them the reason for the arrest and they understood, that arrest is lawful, and the procedure, whatever has to be done thereafter, what I'm advising my ranks to ensure that they expedite the process, do not delay persons on the road deliberately looking for other things. Do your professional job, do it professionally, do it objectively, fairly, and ensure that persons are not deliberately delayed. But we have a duty to ensure that we arrest persons who commit offense within our view.
And on the issue of tinted vehicles, the commander said that the general complaint has been that ranks are allowed tinted vehicles while ordinary citizens are harassed when they are found to have tint on their vehicles. He reiterated that ranks of the force are not allowed tint on their vehicles, and so to our civilians, adding that the issue of tint would have to be addressed, but as it is, there are certain stipulations in place for permission to be granted for the tint. He said if anyone knows of any police officer under his command who has a tint on their vehicle, they should contact him. The businesswoman who was arrested after a cooler of marijuana stuffed chicken was found in her possession has been charged and granted bail on drug trafficking charges. The woman, Jeanette Grace Andy, appeared at the Bartica Magistrate Court this morning. She pleaded not guilty to the charge of possession of narcotics for the purpose of trafficking. The prosecutor told the court that the 40-year-old was held by the police on Saturday after a search of an ice cooler in her possession unearthed several plucked whole chicken with large packets of marijuana stuffed in them. The accused was granted bail in the sum of $200,000 after she entered a not guilty plea. She has to return to court on the 23rd of June for the continuation of the matter.
Fuel it up and drive, super 95, tune up. Fuel it up and drive, super 95, tune up. Protect your fuel system, boy. High mileage and performance, boy.
Guy Oil Super 95 gasoline gives you more reasons to drive and is available at 56 service stations nationwide. For affordable price, high performance, and high mileage, choose Guy Oil's Super 95 gasoline.
Fuel it up and drive.
Hi there, I'm Narissa Pearson, a broadcaster by profession and radio personality on 98.1 Hot FM of NCN. I just received my vaccine. And the process was pretty simple and easy. I will admit I was very nervous. I was very terrified to get a shot. It wasn't about the fact it's a COVID-19 vaccine, but just my fear with getting a vaccine generally since I was a child. But it was a really simple process, and I want to encourage a lot of people out there to get vaccinated. As we continue to cope and deal with COVID-19 and its impact, I firmly believe that we should all take whatever precautions, whatever access we have towards mitigating the spread of this virus, and more so its impact on our lives and our health. So I'm very, very happy to have been vaccinated, and I hope a lot of people out there come and get their vaccines as well. I look forward to getting my second dose on this page so that I can really have a proper defense system against COVID-19.
Across the region tonight, police in Trinidad and Tobago have made some headway into solving the mystery surrounding the discovery of 14 human bodies and other human remains found in a fishing boat drifting 4 miles off the coast of Tobago. Fishermen in the area observed the boat drifting towards land on Friday morning, and upon closer investigation, they observed human remains on board. Police in Tobago have revealed that the origin of the vessel was traced to a country in northwest Africa called the Islamic Republic of Mauritania. According to the police, a cell phone found on the vessel also provided a missing link for the cybercrime unit, which also revealed that the cell phone was registered in the country, Mauritania. Officials believe that the vessel would have entered an extensive high-pressure system in the Atlantic Basin, and that is centered near Bermuda. After being first picked up by the Canary Current from Mauritania, it may have drifted south and west away from Western Africa to the Cape Verde Islands. In Chile, the president has vowed to push a same-sex marriage bill that is stalled in Congress, a surprising move that stunned his conservative allies. The president said he thinks the time is now for equal marriage. The country's LGBT community has long pushed for the legislation in the historically Catholic country. But one of the president's allies labeled the decision as a betrayal. The country approved civil unions between same-sex couples back in 2015, allowing them to register for a civil union agreement that gives some legal benefits. A more universal legislation to allow same-sex marriage presented by the former left-leaning President Michelle Bachelet in 2017 has for years languished in Congress, dominated by President Piñera's conservative coalition. In his annual State of the Union address, the president said he would give urgency to the bill, saying it was time to guarantee the freedom and dignity to all people. And finally tonight, international news. Israeli opposition parties have just hours left to form a new government that would end Benjamin Netanyahu's 12-year stretch as prime minister. Yair Lapid of the centrist Yesh Atid party has made several deals ahead of the deadline. But crucially, he is yet to reach a final agreement with the right-wing nationalist politician Naftali Bennett. Mr. Bennett is expected to become the prime minister ahead of Mr. Lapid under a rotation arrangement. Mr. Netanyahu and his Likud party have been appealing to fellow right-wing politicians not to join the coalition, knowing that a new government would still face a vote of confidence in parliament before it could be sworn in. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Gordon Mosley, encouraging you to stay safe and have a pleasant night.